Hey everyone, this is iMage Rex, and this is actually more of a question type video. To pose a question to start with, I actually want you guys to answer this, just because I'm curious. If you could basically ensure 3 graphical updates to RuneScape, what would those be? You don't have to answer why, because I feel like if I said why, then a lot less people would answer them. But if you want to give a reason why you would like that, throw it in there also. That would be much appreciated. And I guess take your time to do that now. I'll do. I'm just kidding. But I was probably just mumbling there ridiculously. But the reason why I'm asking this is that I read the homepage, as I think some of you do, and I say some of you because I know that some of you don't. But they actually talked about microtransactions and how they're helping the game by putting them in, and I don't want to get into that. The main thing that I actually noticed was that they talked about some graphical updates that they're planning on working on, like changing the engine type that runs RuneScape right now from Java to HTML5, and changing the fog. You have the fog to a far distance view, so you'd be able to see for a really long time afterwards. And I just kind of got interested, because obviously there are some things that I would appreciate doing a lot more than some other things. So I mean, of course I would enjoy some graphical updates in the game that I've actually tried to get implemented for the past 4 years or something like that. I don't know, something ridiculous. And here's where my 3 actually come in. Number 1, I would appreciate it if Jagex made a day and night feature. Now, this is because sometimes I like woodcutting like this, and sometimes I like the idea of woodcutting like this. So that's just some graphical distortion that I decided to put in as I was editing this video. But I thought it'd be a nice idea for RuneScape to actually maybe think about trying that out, maybe work on it. They don't have to, because I think the problem is that they have such a wide variety of players. I think this is the reasoning. I think they said that there's such a wide variety of players that if they put a day and night feature, then it could be unfun or a disadvantage to people who can basically only log in at night, so that whenever you get on, it's nighttime. And that would kind of be terrible sometimes. But I think that if they made different servers for different time zones, they could easily solve this problem, or something along that lines. Or have just an option of, in your settings, go to settings, click day, go to settings, click night, go to settings, click day and night feature. Actually, this is my favorite one. Go to settings, click day and night feature, and then switch it between time zones. Have a list of time zones, and you can do that. So the second actual graphical update that I would like to see in the game is a weather update. Now, if you're wondering what I mean, it's that I wish Jagex would actually, well, first off, if they put a day and night feature, that's cool. They're making it more realistic and kind of changing the game a little bit. Now, with that, you could also add in a weather feature where you could choose if it rains or if it snows or stuff along that matter. And maybe possibly make like puddles on the ground or something that rains, stuff like that, graphical things that don't actually interfere with anything. And I know this is possible for RuneScape because, let me run up here. In some actual areas of RuneScape, it does in fact snow. Now, a while ago, this snow was actually the worst graphical thing you could possibly ever see in RuneScape. Before they had particles, they had these huge snowflakes that just fell across the screen, and it was terrible. But this actually doesn't look too bad. And if I was walking around in RuneScape during winter, and maybe I was in Varrock and this was happening, and then you could see snow on the tops of buildings or something along those lines, I wouldn't be too disappointed. I would actually kind of find it fun. Now, they don't have to include, like, I mean, I can see wind coming over here. They don't really have to include that. I mean, you don't actually see wind. But I do like the idea of having a particle-shaped weather system, or a kind of particle-based weather system. They could actually make it different if they wanted to add clouds. Maybe if it's raining, make it darker and stuff like that. Change the also the lighting styles of the city or the town while it's raining or snowing. And that's actually just to add another sense of realism, I guess, to the game. And finally, we actually find my last example, or something that I would like, in Drainer Village. Now, there's actually two things here, but I'm going to basically group them together and then throw them in one category. Basically more of a realistic sense of the game. Now, what I mean by that is, one, you can see that wheat over here is waving. I think that's pretty awesome. And two, you can see that there's a crow right over here, and it's sitting on the ground. Let me see if I can run around and find some more. Because crows in this city actually fly around, which right now you'll have to believe me on, because I can't find any. Right there, there's a flying crow. Alright, so there's actually things like crows and stuff that fly around that actually aren't hunter based, but they're in the game as basically just graphical extras. And they are on the same level as actually everyone else in the game, because if you didn't know how the game works, it's a square based game, and you have basically one set height of a cube. So you have this distance high for every single creature being in Runescape. Now what to do is just basically make everything under the crow invisible, and then only make the crow on the very top where your head basically is. Now that's just RuneScape. I'm not gonna ask for anything more than RuneScape, but they do actually have just added extras. The crows and the wheat actually are specific to Drainer. Well, I mean, other wheat does that. I mean, if you walk around, you can see Puro has a circle in the middle. But these are actually just extra tidbits added onto Drainer Village after the graphical rework that they had, that just basically made it more enjoyable to be in this city or in this town. And I would appreciate seeing those to basically other cities, not crows or anything, but you know, maybe if you're in Baroque or a big city, have some pigeons on the ground that fly away if you like walk towards them or something. Something kind of sort of like that. And those are my three. So I wanted to ask you guys what were your three. And so obviously the biggest update that I want to RuneScape is actually a continuous spectrum, not a line and I don't know what I would call this. I don't want to say box, line and box plot. So in a lot of other video games, you can click this right here and you'll actually move to that spot. You can click this over here and you move to that spot. RuneScape actually works on the basis that there's a square here and you can move to it, and then each given square you can move to. So it is a square-based game. If you didn't know, the maximum amount of things that you can have in game, such as coins, some people actually do know this. It's 2 to the power of 32 minus 1, I think. So it's basically based on a 2x2 network, so everything is given in a certain value. Everything can be defined. Now other games actually also have this, but on a much larger scale, or smaller scale, I guess, because you can't move here, but you could move right here and actually just have it so it's smoother looking. RuneScape has the kind of nice, appealing feel to it, that it's familiar. It's kind of good graphically. Graphically, if I look at this building, it's nice, but I can only access things on this one-dimensional floor plan, and that is partially because it is 3D-dimensional. But there are other ways to do this. Now, since they are moving to tablets, I actually read that in the news post today also, they might actually start working on that. They might begin to basically make it a continuous map. And if I had to download a client for that, if I had to download a 10 gig client or something to play RuneScape like that, by all means I would. I would prefer to double click RuneScape on my desktop and then load it, click login, type in my account information, and then open a map that is basically continuous and better graphically. Now, I don't know how some people do this, but it's just something that I would enjoy in RuneScape. But that is, I think, something that's a little bit far off to ask for. So I I want to hear what you would want to improve the current RuneScape, and then overall, if you agree with my opinion that it would be nice to move away from the squared by square system that Jagex uses to a more continuous spectrum, go ahead and tell me that also in the comments. But other than that, thank you guys for listening to me, and I actually cannot wait to hear your guys' opinions. And to actually get a larger data set, I would appreciate it if you guys gave this video a like or possibly shared it to your friends. I want to basically get as many reviews as possible on this. I am considering either making it into a forum post or something just statistically to measure how much what players want in RuneScape, or graphically analyze it, something like that. Because I'm good at math, I like stats. Not really, I hate stats, but I can do statistics. I'm not bad at it. So anyways, you guys throw me those three ideas, and I will look them over as the time goes by. So thank you guys for listening to me, and goodbye.
Hey everybody, it's iMage Rex.
What am I doing
this
here?
week we had the
I
action
am actually
going
going
to
to
show you
share
the
my
Solo
solo
trip,
trip,
and
and
we're
I'm
just
running
a little bit of it,
my reviews.